had that glow. You know, the one you have when you meet the love of your life at a wedding in Hawaii, and he wants to make you his forever. The one you have when you know that nothing can go wrong at 36. Well, it only took 3 little words to dim my light. I felt like I was jumped in a game, given these colors, the color pink. I soon learned there was nothing pretty in pink. Managing the ebbs and flows after a breast cancer diagnosis was never ending. Our life together was just beginning, but we had no future in sight. I'm now standing here in my chemo glow, willing to share my moments, because I soon learned that the glow doesn't define me. I define the glow. Hi guys, welcome to Chemo Glow, where the glow doesn't define me, I define the glow. If you are tuning in today to this live, could you go ahead and hit me up in the chat and let me know if you could hear me? Because I am doing this by myself tonight, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm patting myself on the back. So if you can hear me and everything is flowing, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure if you're looking at us on YouTube that you hit the subscribe button so you know when we're going to be up. So hit that subscribe button because we're on YouTube, guys. We're also on Facebook. So Facebook, you can check us out there. I try to post on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want more information about us, just go to chemoglow.com. If you would like to share your glow, you can email me, which I've gotten quite a few hits since my last live last Wednesday. So you can share your glow by emailing me at chemoglow@gmail.com. And if you're tuning in again from Facebook or YouTube, if you could just put in there that I'm tuning in for those places so I know, trying to keep up with everything here. But I am really nervous and excited about my guest tonight. Before I talk about her, let's talk about who's coming on next week. My girl Paige, she is going to be here. We meet people in different ways, different reasons for different seasons. And I met her in a way that was totally different. And now we do some work together. And she is so amazing. I can now call her my friend. And I want to thank her friend, Amanda Miller, for connecting us. Guys, I've been out here in these pink streets so much that I have turned them gold. Guess what I'm doing right now? I'm actually doing my 3rd annual benefit in my neck of the woods. So if you are around, come join me and my counterpart, Miss Kimberly. We do Preserves the Connection. This is our 3rd year. It will be on May 4th from noon to 5. We got a lot going on, but what I want you to pay attention to is that 100% of the vendor fees benefit 2 different organizations. This year is Making Strides Against Breast Cancer and Note in the Pocket. Last year, it was them too, but guess what? We got rained out. So since we got rained out and we doubled the donation, we might as well go for a 3rd time and hope for sun. But we'll have the live music. When I mean live music, I mean live music. The cornhole, food trucks, classic cars, if it doesn't rain. Our kids zone, if it doesn't rain, even though they moved it inside, we are still going to show up and show out. And Note in the Pocket will be doing a kids drive for kids' clothes. So please bring your kids' clothes there to drop off. And Making Strides Against Breast Cancer will be signing up people for the walk and just giving out information. And hopefully our cocktail mixologist will make it this year. She was a hit last year. So we'll be spotlighting these 2 organizations at 1:30. We also do a raffle drawing And in this raffle drawing, all of the vendors give us something that we can raffle off, which gives us more money to give to these two organizations. So I definitely am excited about that coming up because Kimberly and I, we are partners in crime. She was my neighbor across the street before we even broke ground. She came over and said hi to me. And now this is our third year doing our give back. A lot of people say, can't you just write a check instead of doing all this? Well, there's a reason why the glow doesn't define me and I define the glow. I look for things where I can bring the community together and how can I touch them and have them touch someone else. So I am so excited about this. Well, guys, you ready for your special guest? She is a handful because she is me. I will be the special guest tonight. And what I've learned in the past 14 years in county from being diagnosed with breast cancer, that my story changes and cancer still suck. And pink is still not my color, but I know the power of pink. And because of that, I'm so happy to still be here sharing my story. Thank you for the love, guys. Again, if you're in the chat, please say hi so I know that you are there. And just let me know if you're on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you're coming from. And if you want to join my live tonight, you can. I actually put the link in the chat. That's a little scary, right? But I actually put the link in the chat because I want to know how you are sharing your glow. Thank you, Big C, for coming out and joining us tonight. It's so amazing, so awesome. And my twin is out here. Oh my goodness, why does she have the picture up from I think her senior year? You gotta love it. I love it, love it, love it. But my glow is so freaking different this time around. But before I get started, because I am a little nervous, only because after you look over 14 years of people calling you, you calling people, you doing stuff for other people, you standing in, and the friends that are no longer here who got you started, sometimes it's hard to look at. But I'm so happy that I'm here 14 years out. So let's just start with this little video that I came up with about my guys. My guys did their thing. They were the ones who actually started my actual YouTube channel. So I was so excited to find this video of them, and I'm going to share it with you.
Hey guys, it's Chemo Glow, and I just hope my auntie set up her YouTube channel. Videos coming soon. Can't see her face right now. So yeah, videos will be posted soon. Hope you enjoy.
All right, I had to actually take a moment there because I miss my guys. You never know who touches your life, and they definitely touched my life. So thank you so much for setting up your auntie's YouTube channel while we're at a restaurant. And Kaden, I truly miss you. All right, so let's get started. How many people are in this chat? Let's talk about the 14 years that I've been here. And I haven't been doing this podcast alone. My producer has been out there doing things. He always says that I'm a natural, and he always says that I can do it all by myself. And guess what? I can, but I appreciate him. So 14 years in county is definitely something that I've been thinking about because some of my friends, some of the people that I have actually interviewed are no longer here. Oh, but can you imagine, guys, if you were trying on your wedding dress? Yes, that's me. Look at them curves, right? You're trying on your wedding dress, and then all of a sudden, you're now in a hospital bed. And then you meet this amazing person, Talanya, at the Sisters Network, and she becomes your person to walk you through this. And over the years, your people change. You'll meet people like Jean or like Anita. These are all of the people that I have had the pleasure of speaking with, from DJs, to survivors and thrivers, to people that I've never met in person, to my lymphedema therapist, to the people who have stuck with me, the people I continue to do stuff with, to the people who are no longer here, whether I'm doing My Carolina or I'm making things happen because I met this wonderful person named Lorelei. And I'm still involved with so many different organizations that still stand. And every once in a blue moon, I change my glasses. I love that picture. And to the ladies who are in this picture, and to the one who I miss dearly. We've had authors on here who are so amazing. Of course, we do the shows for making strides against breast cancer. I'm able to speak with different organizations, and it has been my pleasure doing this. And in these 14 years, I've done so much that I kind of forget what all has transpired. So I want to share with you guys, let me just go back here, some of the things and some of the guests. But before I do, that was my young honey when we were getting married. We had just called everybody on April Fool's Day. And all I said was, I need a church. I need this church. And I did not want to wear this dress. Did not want to wear the dress because I knew the very next day, guess what we were doing? We're going to go get my treatment plan and find out what I was going through. As time progressed, some of these pictures I've never shared before. I ended up getting my port, and I was looking for something that I could just simply throw on, right? Just something I could simply throw on, zip up. Because if you've ever had treatment, you have your arms poked, you have your chest open, so many things are going on. So I started to cut all my hair down, and my glow was changing. Even from the way my face looked, it was changing. I was able to go to Texas at 2 years with some amazing people. I was able to see my family, hang out with them. And I went there 2 years in a row because you have to find your community, right? So I found my community of people. And this right here is my road dog. And what everybody thinks that your cancer, when you have treatment, your face is going to, like, you're going to be skinny. No, them steroids, they transform you. They make you look different. And when your hair grows back, everybody thinks that you're okay. But during these years, I've also had the pleasure of working with a wonderful organization. Of course, it's Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. I started out with them close to 14 years because I was like a year in, went there, said I wanted to volunteer, sat in the office, started with the fashion show, was just telling them things and learning other people's stories, which was so amazing. So I was able to meet some wonderful people, and this is part of our executive team from last year. And I am going to be cheering that walk again. But I must say, this might be my last year. I've been doing it for a while, and there's some other things that I want to pursue, but they know they can always pick up the phone and give me a call. So, how do you guys share your glow? What are you guys doing out there? I'm so happy that everyone that I have touched in the past 14 years has been able to allow me to share their glow over the years. And some of the people that I work with are friends. I had no idea that Sakara and Cassandra will both be saying that we've heard those words, cancer. I had no idea that my friend here would not be here anymore, but she blessed me during the time because I met her at Healing Pines Respite. I had no idea that my friend that was beating the odds in 2020, she was a lung cancer survivor. And she passed away 2 years ago. And Toma was like one of the most amazing people But she was able, if you guys go on my YouTube channel, you can definitely find her episode. She was episode 11. And to my girl Cassandra, life is meant to be lived. For you, my friend, I am so thankful for. Your boys definitely had a big play in my mental health and how I got through. And I'm so happy that you were able to tell your story. So if you get a chance, please check her out too. Life is meant to be lived. You never know who you meet. I met Michelle at UNC. She headed the Young Survivor Coalition group, and that group right there actually had me look at life in a different way because I was able to do different things with the community because of her. So for Michelle, I'm so grateful. There were so many doctors that I met and authors that I met, from Carol Weaver, um, who is a wonderful woman, and Pies to Die For. If you haven't gotten that book, you need to. And this one, I'm going to tell you about. This one right here, I'm going to come off this so you can see my face. Terry, I met her at the Young Survivor Coalition when we were meeting as a support group. Terry's Terry. To know her is to love her, right? So I met her and she decided to do my podcast. And she's actually one of the people that would sit with me, go over some of the things that I wanted to talk about. And then she decided to come on. Well, she came on the podcast. And guess what happened, guys? As she was on the podcast, somebody, long lost relative, seen her on my podcast. The other side of the family that she didn't know nothing about. And she has shared this before, so I've shared it. They seen her on the podcast and they found out that they were related. And she had a whole nother side of the family. Well, what's interesting about that, it's because the other side of the family carried the cancer trait. So she had no idea because there was no breast cancer in the family that she grew up in. But because of the other side of the family, she's now connected and now she can see, okay, cancer runs on this side of the family. I had no idea. And what do we do with that type of information when we do know that cancer runs in our family? Whether or not you decide to get genetic testing, like I did, and a few of my sisters did too, whether or not you decide to, make sure you schedule that mammogram. I have a friend right now that keeps saying, I'm going to schedule my mammogram. And I'm going to ask her tomorrow, did you schedule that mammogram? It is so important. Remember, guys, I was only 36 at the time. 36 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And if you know my story, then you know that it was it was not me, because someone had said, no one's listening and you guys are not going to go get a mammogram. And I said, I am. And I'm going to call you back. And of course, I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 36. If I would have waited till 40, I don't think I'd be in front of you today because it was already in my lymph nodes. I mean, can you imagine being told you have cancer, and you just played the photographer for your wedding that you were planning in June, that you moved up in April, and now you are dealing with a fiance who had a girlfriend at first, then a fiance with cancer, and then a wife with cancer. And I was determined not to be that mom with cancer. So how difficult is that? It's I I can't even imagine how my husband felt at the time, because we always say we are going through cancer. You guys have heard that, right? We are going through cancer. Because you are, they're standing beside you, but at some point you no longer want to be uh, the patient. You no longer want to be that caregiver. You want to be like, I want you to be my husband. I want you to be I want you to be my wife. I want to be a mother. I don't want that label that they keep putting on me, but I understand the power of pink. Therefore, I use it. I use it. The power of pink is so powerful because I'm hoping that we will save lives soon. that because cancer still sucks and I'm still trying to figure out my why and my purpose and why I'm out here. I just had lunch with a friend who was on my podcast and we never met before. We met because someone heard me speaking at Making Strides Against Breast Cancer and they asked if I would speak with her. And I did. And she was asking on one of the podcasts before. And I'm trying to tell y'all to go listen to all the podcasts. If you ain't figured it out, that's what I'm trying to tell you to do. They've been going since 2020. So there's so many out there. But the fact I hadn't met her and she was willing to tell me her story, and then not just me, she got up in front of all those people and told them their story. And she touched so many people. And now hopefully we'll be working together on a project where we can help other women see the beauty in all of this nonsense that we call cancer. I'm so happy that you guys are actually tuning in here. Thank you for all. You say take a deep breath. You're doing great. I try. I appreciate that. Who else is on here? Of course, guys, again, if you want to join, you can. You can join the podcast live right now. If you want to just jump on, let me know. I'll hear you beep in the background. But I'm going to keep going because there's still some other things that I want to talk about. Some of the wonderful people who have been on this podcast. This lady right here, Miss Jacqueline, Dr. Gaddy. She was with UNC, and I was doing a project with UNC. And she was one of the doctors that sat and talked to my husband about how to give bad news to people who are hearing those words, you have cancer. Well, after we were done, she actually went up to my husband and was like, wow, I don't know how y'all did that. A lot of people don't have their loved ones beside them to go into these rooms with them and be their advocate. Because, when you hear those words, it's like, wah, 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 wah. You don't hear anything else. And because of that chance meeting and her being one of the doctors, she decided to come on and talk about her experience. And she's no longer with UNC, but she's at this big, wonderful hospital. And I'm so grateful that we were able to talk about her experience and what she was doing for the cancer community. And Dr. Susan Kennedy, oh my goodness, she was so amazing. She was the director of breast imaging. This was in 2021, so I'm not sure if she's still there, but I was actually doing something different with her and found out that that was her job. And I asked her, could you please come on and talk about breast imaging? Because when you go in to get your mammogram, what does a dense breast mean? What does it mean when they say, oh, you need an ultrasound? What does that mean? What does it mean when they say you have to have a biopsy and clear margins and they want to put markers in? Well, she came on and she discussed that. So if you get a chance, go check out her podcast as well. Because she talked about all things that you should consider before you walk through those doors. And we don't know what to expect unless we have a Talanya, unless we have now a Sakara, now a Cassandra, now a Michelle, unless we have these people that we can call and say, hey, can you tell me a little bit about what to expect? And that is part of my glow. That is part of the reason that I actually do this. So, what else do I have? Because, guys, I'm only going to stay on here 30 minutes because I got a lot to do. I'm getting ready for that big event, but I want to just talk about these 14 years. And I am really trying not to get emotional because I looked at so many pictures of my girls, which you guys have seen. So I didn't flood the timeline with it, with my husband. And also, you don't know that you're still grieving a loss of something that's been gone for 14 years. Like the left breast went first, and then the right breast, and then the multiple surgeries afterwards. you start to go down memory lane and you start to see all these things that you have been through, accomplished, failed at, still grieving about, didn't know that it was still bothering you. You still have more surgeries to go. I got one more surgery to go. And if it doesn't work, I am done because I am 50 and I am okay. Um, and these reoccurring appointments that you got to have, every ache, every pain, everything that's going on with you, all these things are still there and you don't realize it until it's time. So, to all my survivors, thrivers, or whatever you want to be called these days, you guys know what I'm talking about. And people think you should just continue to push through. Um, and we do, but we have our days. We have our days where we're so grateful to put both of our feet on solid ground, but we also mourn the loss of the folks that are not able to do that. Um, so I'm going to leave you here soon, but I want to thank everybody for joining in because you can only talk about yourself for so long. Let my kids tell it. And make sure you guys just remember that these broadcasts that we do, we can save some lives, sanity. We got a lot of stuff going on in our life, and life just keeps going on. So, for these past 14 years, I'm so grateful for my family, for my community, for my network of friends. I cannot wait to continue to do. I'm gonna give you another solid year making strides against breast cancer. I'm gonna give you another solid year and then I'm gonna pass the torch to someone else. But you can always call me American Cancer Society and Healing Pines Respite. I will be with you. I can't wait till our big golf tournament. But one thing that I've learned in these 14 years, at year 15, I'm gonna be a little selfish. I'm not going to take a break because I'm going to keep moving, but I'm going to always pick up my phone because the first person who picked it up for me was Talanya. And I'm going to continue to pick it up for the women and the men and the caregivers and the advocates and the doctor's office that called me. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. It's been 14 years and counting, and I'm looking forward to the next 50 years. You guys make sure you have a good one. Thank you again for joining me. I really do appreciate you. Bye. And remember, the glow doesn't define me. I define the glow.